What is heartbreak? Is heartbreak really the proof that we live in a vengeful world, a world full of hate, indifference, carelessness, lies, guilt, shame? Is it really proof that we live in a world that doesn't give a damn about us, about love, about joy and happiness? Or is heartbreak a sign of divine grace, divine intervention? Is it a gift from a most loving universe unto its beloved? Many of us, including myself, would be very drawn to side with the first view. In the experience of being heartbroken, there is no thought of divine grace, of divine intervention, only perhaps of revenge and hatred and how could you? But the truth about heartbreak is that our heart is being broken by a most gentle hand in the exact way that we need to experience it for our most highest and beneficial growth, for our most highest and beneficial expansion of consciousness, and for our unfolding into unconditional love. This is my own direct seeing, and I want to share with you how I've come to this vision. In the experience of heartbreak, many different things become engaged, many different dynamic processes of the mind, body, and even spirit. Heartbreak is a remnant or a reminder of what we might term at this point our initial separation. In psychology, this is symbolic of our separation with our mother, of that source of life that was forever giving, forever taking care of us. And at one point, when we grew up and all of a sudden we've realized that we are our own ego and our mom is someone else. Our mother became the other. In spirituality, this is the fall from heaven. This is when Adam and Eve took the fruit of the forbidden tree. Heartbreak has a very deep symbolic significance to us as humanity, and it carries a lot of weight. So when your heart gets broken by that girl you love, or by that guy that you thought was the one, it's not about the guy, it's not about the girl. It's about the deepest sense of separation which all humanity carries. Now, when you're swept by this wave of pain, suffering, regret, guilt, and all of these emotions that we try so hard to get away from, it isn't just your own little experience of a relationship not working out. What springs forth in that is the deep pain and suffering of humanity that believes that it is separate from its source, that it is separate from love. So it is no wonder that we are hammered by a tidal wave of emotion, suffering, and pain. How do we get to see through that into the light beyond? Not into the light beyond in some metaphysical sense, but into the light beyond this interpretation of the experience. There's one very direct way, the most direct, and that's simply to experience it fully. When heartbreak comes, put aside as best you can all of your interpretations of it, all of your preconceived notions about it, and be open to the possibility that this could be something other than what you have always known it to be. How do we do that? We do that by simply dropping down into our experience of bodily sensation, of energetic sensation. In the precise moment where you feel that sense of pain, instead of going up to your head and reasoning, intellectualizing, rationalizing it, creating defenses and attacks, wanting to guilt, shame, and blame the other person, notice that this is happening up here. And instead of remaining up here, you drop down into the experience of your heart. It may feel like a gaping hole. It may feel like it is being pierced by a sizzling hot sword. Nonetheless, open yourself to the willingness of experiencing it. Just noticing what is happening there, without any intellectual or verbal overlay. Just be with it. This willingness to be utterly naked to this heartbreak, utterly vulnerable, shifts the dynamic completely. Instead of the muck that has been created, the story that has been created by your mind, a story of opposition and separation, fueled not only by your own experiences but by the experiences of our collective humanity, all of our suffering. Instead of staying at that level, as we drop down to our heart, something magic happens, something miraculous happens. And what that is that in that pain of the heart, as you feel it cracking and breaking apart, as you feel yourself utterly destroyed, it is almost as if through these cracks, through these breaks in our wall, the light begins to shine through. You could almost feel it, like in the movie where the rock breaks apart and there is this chink of light and it opens up into this spectacular, blazing, ineffable experience that blinds the viewer. It is something like this as you go into the raw experience of heartbreak. What you begin to realize is that heartbreak opens you up to the truth of life. It shows you your utter invulnerability, invincibility, your indestructibility, and your utter and unswaying commitment, or rather abiding in unconditional love. The only way I have learned of how to experience that is by dropping directly into that place where we seek so hard to get away from. There is the most obvious of experiences that does not require any conviction other than your own seeing. So as you drop into your heart and be willing to just feel it out, no matter if the heartbreak happened yesterday or 20 years ago, you can summon it forth in your mind simply by inquiring into your own being. Where is my heart broken? Where has my heart been broken? As you do this, you simply let the memories, the images, whatever it is to come up, but do not interact with them in any way other than just your direct seeing. And you will begin to feel the emotions and the feelings and the sensations in the body, and just stay with them, as if you're watching a movie and feeling the experience of your own body in conjunction to the seeing. This is the simple method. Through this method you discover that the experience of heartbreak is being administered to you by divinity itself. It is almost as if a divine surgeon is performing open heart surgery on you and doing a bypass, bypassing all of the pain and suffering of the separation, of the hate and attack, of opposition, competition, of all of these collective human sufferings. Allow Him to do His work. As you do so, you will notice that what I'm sharing with you here is indeed true. So I wish you happy heartbreaking. And I wish always that this experience of unconditional love, which is so intimate and imminent in our experience, becomes obvious and clear to you as your own very sense of existence. Happy heartbreaking.